with the Deng K60 comes card reader and card. Got propellers, USB cable for charging. I see some spare screws in there and a tiny screwdriver. One thing about these little screwdrivers that come, everybody says to throw them away, they're junk, but I found that a few of them are excellent little screwdrivers that fit every screw head and don't strip the screws, and some of them are magnetic. I don't throw them away. They're always useful. Here's the landing gear. These are quite flexible, and I like this. I like the feel of this. These are not easily breakable. They're more rubbery feel. Although they're shiny and smooth, they're flexible. This is good. They're gonna go in. They're gonna go in, pushed into these holes here, and then the screws are gonna be tightened up. I'm going to be checking how to install the camera in these slots before I tighten the screws up. But I'm going to put the legs on now so we can try her. And of course, always remember to check every propeller. Look at how this bends. Flexes nicely. That'd be good for landing. These are nice. When the screws, maybe you can see that the screws aren't screwed in. They go into a tiny hole there. They probably are self-threading screws, and won't quite be like this once they're screwed in. So I always check the propellers, make sure there's no plastic or anything stuck in there. Spin them. They're free spinning, and then I break in the motors with about a minute of spinning on very low, and let it rest and cool down, and then do it again. Use up the battery, and it's good for the battery to break in with just without putting out a lot of power quickly. And for the first few charges, do the same thing. Don't overcharge. Don't let it go undercharged, and treat it gently. And also in the charging, treat it gently. Don't let it overcharge, and it's going to last longer and perform better. Now we have the radio it's got a handle on it. I don't think the antenna goes up inside this, but we can do that kind of thing. The range is supposed to be good on this, so we'll see, but I like to do mods on the antenna to get super range. So on this radio we have CF mode, return to home mode, rate mode, and flip mode. This is great that we have separate flip mode from the rates, so we don't want auto flipping. I don't think anybody likes it. I can see a use for it. I don't think anybody else sees a use for it, but I can see a use for it, but I don't want it because I don't flip, especially camera quads. I don't flip, and I see some use in learning to manually flip a copter for skills improvement, but I'm not going to do it on a camera quad. I'm just not gonna. I don't flip generally anyways. I just like to fly it fast. So that's up to you. I'll show flipping of it later on, but I just don't get into it. So here's the photograph button, the video button, the lights button. This doesn't have a function from what I can tell. And we have the trim buttons. And this one here, I think, is the camera button for the gimbal. I think that's what it says. And we have the 4 batteries bay in here. I've sheeted. I've got them in there already. This is smooth. I like this. I like these sticks. These are beautiful. And I can't believe that this stuff comes on a $50 quad. Well, maybe it's not a $50 quad. GearBest has them at quite the price there. Classy quad, 50 bucks. How can you beat it? Get at it. Really. Okay, so let's turn this on. Even on the black version, you can see the lights from on top, and from the sides they're great. This is just great that they come down like that on the sides as well as being on the bottom. And like, wow, look at the headlight, bar headlight. Beautiful. And red on the back, blue on the front. What more can you ask for? Look at that deep body. Man. All right. So to break in the motors, stick to the bottom before you turn any quad on the radio, before you turn the transmitter on. Put the stick down there, just because who knows how they start up when it's a brand new thing. You don't know. Always put it to the bottom anyways. This one needs up and down to arm it. And I'm going to run these motors on the lowest speed that it'll go on this ratcheted control. One step at a time. Good, you know. And I run them like that for a minute, turn it off, let it cool down. Start them up again, run one battery down, recharge, and then we're going out for a night flight. Not before I check with the experts at Area 51, because they obviously had a hand in developing this technology. So I want to know exactly what I'm doing. Also, before I install the camera, I've found that when you're putting the camera prongs into these slots, sometimes it's a very tight fit, and I prefer to slightly shave down the front one. Has a squeezing mechanism with little like arrow points on it that make it push together when you push in and go in there and lock in on the edges. But I prefer to shave that down just a tad to make it slide in easier, because I don't want to damage that, because it's so resistant to going in. It's always resistant to going in there at first, and I prefer not to bend that, just in case this is a very smooth operating camera that doesn't need to be mounted with anti-jello mounting. In case it works very nicely stock, I want to have that, just to be able to slide that in like that. And so I'd rather shave down the tiny little bit of those the tabs than to break them off. So that's what I'm going to do. If it doesn't, I tried it and it's a tight fit, so I'm going to just give it a tiny shave to make it fit in there. And but we're going to go for a flight without the camera first. What a beauty. 50 bucks.